family. Hey y'all, Toya with the T here. I'm just looking up some royalty-free music. Let me turn that down. All right, y'all. So listen, this is the dealio, right? So y'all know I haven't really said but 2 words about what went on at the Capitol. But are we ready for it? I think we're ready for it. So listen, any of my friends that's watching right now, feel free, give me a call, holla at me, like, tag, share. I want to get some feedback on this topic. All right, Takeover at the Capitol. What we got going on? All right, so listen, y'all know that we're about to embark on something that's just going to be a bunch of foolishness, right? So listen, we have endured how many? Trayvon Martin, there's countless of them. Started with Trayvon, I would like to say. Ultimately, it started way back when with Emmett Till, but we don't going to touch that. But something started with Trayvon. And then it was like y'all just kept going and kept going. Y'all kept going. Y'all kept going. Y'all kept thought y'all was y'all ancestors. Y'all kept just doing this thing. And the list just grew. Right. And what happened was May of what was that, 2020? After Ahmaud and a couple of others, y'all killed a man with your knee in front of people with cameras with no disregard. You didn't think about the people that was watching. You didn't care about any of that. You kneeled on the neck of a black man in the middle of the entire world as people stood and watched. They begged, they pleaded with you to stop. You did not, behind a counterfeit $20 bill. And the world was outraged. And when we found out that information, what happened after that was we discovered, thank you, Lord, for blowing all this up. We discovered the information about Ahmaud Arbery, who had already Ahmaud Arbery, who had already happened in February of 2020. 2020 was a very trying year. And I got to do my screen share, y'all. Y'all got to do my screen share with me, y'all. 2020 was a very trying year for all of us. And I don't think that the others understand that. And we're embarking on this video that the world has seen of George Floyd. Let me fix my camera. And with that being the case, we took to the streets. Now, for those of y'all that know, y'all been watching Toya with the T, y'all know that I've been saying and declaring, honey, that it's going to be something that go down, and we the people, we going to have to stand up. So, behold, we had George Floyd. So then, as we turned from George Floyd, we then found out about the Ahmaud Arbery case, which had happened in February. Sorry about the commercials. But in February, we embarked on Ahmaud Arbery and found out that nothing had been done. Shortly after Ahmaud Arbery, and we're going to play this clip right here because this was another clip that was all over the place. The final moment that it took for them to go capture some Caucasian men that had previously killed a black man on their own will. They took the law into their own hands, as your privilege has always allowed you to do for all of these years. Here we have Ahmaud. Okay, so then we started to go in the streets. We started to make some noise. That was enough. That was enough. We didn't really want anymore. People of all colors, all races, all ages, and some people even say that not only were these people of all races and ages, but some was even staged. That people were sent into the streets to help us galvanize and strike up one of the biggest protests the world has ever seen. And then we come to another case with Rayshard Brooks. Yet another uh, opportunity where officers who are trained embark themselves in a situation with a Caucasian, in a minority, I'm sorry, not in a Caucasian, with two Caucasian officers patrolling a predominantly black neighborhood. And here's this young black man sleep in his car because he could have been inebriated. And the tussle and the fear that they felt with him trying to get away, running away, led them to shooting him. This is the America we were living in. We were on the streets. We were protesting. Did some people tear some stuff up? Absolutely. Look at the things that you guys torn. You've torn down people. You've murdered people in front of millions and millions and millions of people. And now the stories are circulating, and now everything is coming out. You devils are backed into a corner now because what you thought your rituals were going to continue to go on. Well, at any rate, so Rayshard Brooks was another deep one, and then again we've had more since then. But let us bring you to today. Let's see if we can find this footage that's been plastered all over televisions everywhere. Another opportunity for the whole world to see. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the images that we have seen lately on what's been going on at the Capitol and some of the actual plans that these people were anticipating carrying out over an election, but you can't understand the anger that we had with George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Rayshard Brooks. Wait a minute, I don't understand something here. Wait, listen. All of you officers said that these unarmed black men, and even Rashad, who took your weapon and ran in the other direction, you were so scared and petrified that you had to murder them. But what you're telling me is that you feel safe enough to allow tens of thousands of angry mob like characters into a Capitol building, which governs our America, and you didn't feel threatened. Why wouldn't you feel threatened, might I ask? Probably because you're one of them. I wouldn't be threatened either with my people. It's like white people going to the black people neighborhood, when you're scared, probably because you don't feel like you're one of them. So you guys, you didn't feel like you were one of them with Ahmaud. You didn't feel like you were one of them with Trayvon. You didn't feel like you were one of them with George Floyd. You didn't feel like you were you were one of them. So when they were murdered unjustly because the officers feared for their lives, you couldn't identify with us. But what you expect us to believe is that you did not feel that same fear with tens of thousands of people standing outside the door of your job and your capital wanting to get in to our officials' offices to possibly and even potentially commit murder, and you weren't scared. You didn't feel threatened for your life. You mean to tell me no bean bags, no balls, no ballistics, no shooting, no light 'em up, no getting ready, no none of that? Probably because you were one of them. So We have swiftly, during the time of Corona, went from a entire global lockdown pandemic that put millions of people jobs out of whack. They don't have them no more. To seeing man-made murder of public hanging, as the media called it, to remind us of what was going to happen. And now here we are, and we are expected to think that you guys are going to do your due diligence when it comes to prosecuting these people that have stormed the Capitol. Absolutely not. America, listen, you're not even credible enough to be able to do that. Why? Because of the thousands of countless cases that we know people are innocent and they're still in jail, the thousands of countless bogus deals that you've made to get the little guy when you know the big guy is still out there and potentially putting money in your pocket. No, that's not what we want, America. We don't trust the fact that you're going to do the right thing. And because you're not, there's a higher power that's about to change everything for us. But listen, what do we truly anticipate is going to be happening with this thing at the Capitol? I don't think we really understand it. But let's see what some of the top news articles have to say about the alarming number of weapons that they have had at the Capitol, which is amazing. You know, the part that amazes me is how in America we can feel more threatened by an unarmed black man than we do of a mob of white nationalists with weapons who have a history of murdering, torturing, hanging black people. You don't fear that. You can see that coming down the street and just think, oh, tra la la la, everything's gonna be okay. But you can't fathom the fact that a black man who fell asleep in his car in the drive-thru of a Wendy's on a drunken night, just streets from a loved one's home, could not have gotten startled by everything that happened and ran in the opposite direction with a taser, and the officer felt the need to shoot him. How many times in the back? You know, I don't know how much more of this we can take, America.
In a seditious conspiracy that used force to oppose the authority of the United States, prevent, hinder, and delay the execution of the Electoral Count Act, and unlawfully seize, take, or possess property.
Oh, I'm having some problems. Okay. Let's go
of
on.
the United States.
Down every road is a story. So you need the right machine to find them. A capable machine that's tough and enduring.
So, what do we do, you guys? What's the next move? What do we do as citizens? Where do we go from here? Who do we trust after such things have just occurred in our very faces? Looking at over the summer, the things that transpired with police officers and so-called protesters, and this actual storm at the Capitol, and they still want to call these guys protesters and not terrorists. Where do we go as a community? Where do we go as citizens of America after today? What is our new reality that we embark on? Okay, so Biden's in office, now what? The next thing that's on the table is these immunization shots. I'm sorry, these vaccination shots, which, if we look at it, it has a lot to do with what these so-called rioters that saw their way into the Capitol on the 6th of January are so-called marching for or rioting for. Okay. It is to the belief of the people whom are calling themselves Trump supporters, QAnon, and everything else that the last election was rigged. They cheated. Trump is supposed to be president, and for that, they felt the need to physically take the law in their own hands again. Here we are. This is what's been happening. Take the law into their own hands again and physically break into their own capitals to drag and kill their own people. And you're not scared of them? An unarmed black man scares you more? I'm still kind of lost on that, America. But where do we go as a people? What's next? What do we fight for next? So let's go back, right? When we go to pre-corona days, if y'all think about it, it was a couple of things on the table, right? Now, there was one rumor that pre-corona, they had to get us in the house. There was a reason they needed us all in the house. They don't know why. Trump was hollering, it's a scam. He didn't want to do the mask and things of that nature. Okay, so listen, let's do some more conspiracy theories. Because we know that our United States doesn't tell a story, tell the whole story, the truth and nothing but the truth. Would it be fair to say that maybe we could believe that the United States knew that we were going to have bouts of domestic terrorism? And part of the plan that they used to help not continue on with this domestic terrorism was to keep us in the house. That was a part of their way to deflate it. And thus Corona came, and here we are. So at the same time, would we like to also bring up the conspiratorial theory we were all talking about in the beginning about 5G? We forgot about 5G. And this is where the COVID comes from. And the conspiratorial theories that the 5G and the bouts of 5G and the raise in the level in which we were operating on were going to cause all of these mass effects, which this 5G technology is necessary for the next level of technology that we're trying to get into. And a part of the major distraction was Donald Trump and allowing him to distract us with the racism as we deflect from some issues that were indeed something we should have been paying attention to. So now here we are. The storming of the Capitol and some of these so-called supremacists or rioters or protesters, I don't think they were protesting. They were directly there to tear something up. But and murder and drag people out, like that's not what the protesters were about. They were out there speaking. Let me say we. I'm not going to say they. We were out there marching, right? With no intent to drag anybody out of anywhere and murder anyone for any reason. That's protesting. What they did was rioting. Yeah, did we shut down a couple expressways? Absolutely, stood right in the middle of them. But again, we are not talking about going into any buildings, dragging anyone out, bringing them anywhere, killing anybody. That's the difference between protesting and what they did, which was rioting. And I'm trying to figure out, how are you not scared of thousands of white supremacists with guns, but you're scared of one black man? So, as we move forward and we look at these possibilities, okay, conspiratorial theories, they say that conspiracy theories is something to be proven away. But why is everyone talking about the same conspiratorial theories? What's the truth and what is lies? And how do we know our America? And what is it that our America is trying to do? I'm thinking about something about COVID. What is it that America not telling us about COVID-19? What is it that America is not telling us about the government? And not for nothing, because they found pipe bombs. So do we think that you're going to bomb the capitals? Are we even thinking about that right there? Did we not pay attention to how close this AT&T gig was? Again, we got deflected from what happened at this AT&T little bomb site, and this guy killed himself, blew himself up there. Could that possibly be linked to what's going on in Washington now? And is there also more to come because they knew that they were on their trail? So I'm wondering, all capitals everywhere have been guarded up. I know the ATL's been guarded up for some time, which again leads me to believe the protesting, absolutely, just a decoy to keep us off of what they were really going to do. And I guess the more you find out that Trump and his minions almost had me fooled. Some of those policies I still agree with. However, Trump and his minions had something bigger planned. When he stole the very election in the beginning, he came in with a devised plan. And I guess it just took some time for us to see it. And the funny part is that I really think, not that I'm anybody, but I really think that every country understands that in order to cripple America, you must take out its black people. So not only is this a fight where we must defend ourselves against the white nationalists that live here, we also have to acknowledge the fact that maybe foreign entities were hated by everyone for a reason. And the goal is always to eradicate the people of color. Go figure. Well, I would like to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, where do we go from here? What do we do next? What are the next things that we talk about when it comes to our government and the structure in which we have to live in? I think there's a couple of things we need to take off the table. First and foremost, probably the death penalty. Only because United States, you can't be trusted with the truth. Yeah, you will know that someone didn't commit the crime, but because the right person with the right amount of money had the right lawyer to get in your pocket, we can be sentencing an innocent man to death when we all know it wasn't so. So death penalty probably needs to come off the table. And these crimes, well, we already know what happens when you hit a federal officer, when you attack a federal officer. You can get 20 years for hitting a martyr police. You mean to tell me we carry lighter sentences for the Capitol building and our senators than we do for the martyr police? Oh. I wonder how many more prisons we're going to have to build to actually house all of those people that were climbing on and inside of and walking. And those were hundreds of thousands of people you got. That's some good probation money. Yeah. And for all of them people that might not be able to get out of jail, you bet not. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Did you let them all go home? Oh, wait a minute. And here it is 7 days later. You know, that's the thing that's always gotten me with people, right? The police officers always asking me questions, and you're supposed to be the one solving the crimes. The doctor gonna ask you, what's wrong with you today? I'm coming to you, see if you can tell me what's wrong with me. And here we are. We got the FBI posting bulletins all over the place because yet again you want the streets to help you. Oh, you mean to tell me you got eyes in the sky, eyes all everywhere, all this money y'all got going on, and you still can't catch all these folks? You want people to tell on folks and things. You need help. We gotta help you yet. We gotta pay you with our taxes, not get no money back because you don't want us to get health care. But now then we got to tell you who the culprits is. I don't understand it, you guys. But listen, very important phone call coming in, you guys. I just had to go ahead and say my little bit on that. Hey, I'm going to get back with you guys about the Capitol later. All right. In the meantime, between time, go follow me on all social media and I'll be back talking about the Karens. Okay. Okay. Bye, y'all.